So, welcome back to the bus terminal in Kamppi. Today we will create line number 37, which runs from Kamppi all the way to Myyrmäki, which is actually located by one of the railway tracks. So, this line will basically be a connection between the starting point of the railway track to the end point of the railway track. And it will connect the stations in between these 2 points, bringing in not more passenger traffic, but more diverse passenger traffic. This line runs a bit differently from the other lines originating from Kamppi so far. It starts here in the terminal, but then it will turn right in here, meaning that there will be another type of connection. So there, that's the crossing, and we will just treat the crossing a bit differently that way. So it starts from Kamppi, and then it stops at Hanken. No buses stop at Sammonkatu, so the following stop is Apollonkatu over here. And then there is the bus stop at Töölöntori. And the stop at Töölöntori actually does serve quite a lot of bus lines traveling through to the northwestern part of Helsinki. So the stop is over there, and then we'll just delete the station and merge this part of track with the, come on, Töölöntori station, or not a station, it's a stop. It is a bus stop, it is a tram stop, it is a stop. But nevertheless, that's how it functions. Or that's where it's located. And then we'll just need to add new signals to the line, like that. Like I said, that's where it starts. Then the following stop is at Linnankosken Katu on this line, but there is a stop located before that which takes a part of the traffic. I will just need to find the right location, and the right location is Töölön kirjasto, Töölön bibliotek. And it will come before Linnankosken Katu. So this, in here I will create a stop which isn't served by this line, but I will just create it now to make creating stops easier in the future. And we're still creating street roads instead of that small mishap which happened a couple of videos ago when I accidentally created a highway with the speed limit of 130 kilometers an hour in the middle of the city. Quite nicely done for the buses using and the people using that stretch of track. Not very nice for the pedestrians though. So that's the extra stop, which we will not be needing right now. And then we will have the Linnankosken katu stop, which is called Linnankoski gatan in Swedish, meaning that it's named after the writer called Linnankoski. And this area of town is actually known to be pretty much favored by artists. There have been several of them living in here in the past decade. This is really come on. The keyboard is again doing its own things here, but that's where the stop is located. Then we'll go on, and there is another stop. There is another stop serving only certain lines just a few 100 meters away, so this is really a popular, or not a popular one, but this is a stop, or not a stop, this is a route served by quite many bus lines, and it is what, come on. It is one of the main routes connecting the city center to the northwestern suburbs. That is Kirjalinpuisto, and the following real stop is called Töölön Tulli or Töölötull. And now let's see if we need to create another stop for it, and yes, we do. And once again, this station will be connected with the other stops at Töölön Tulli. It's a pretty massive knot of bus and tram traffic. Now this thing is doing strange things again, so let me see. Shouldn't look like this. Does look like this anyway. But let's make all the twists and turns. They're all good. They're all friendly. Can you call a turn friendly? Well, that's a good question, but nevertheless, the turns now are there, and we will just have to live with them because the game wanted to create them. Like I said, it does funny things at times. After the Töölön Tulli stop, it will merge with a tram line running on Mannerheimintie, so it will actually cross that tram track over there, and there we go, like that. So we will need to create signals to avoid shit getting real. when all of these dozens of buses and trams, not trams, they're not coming in anymore, but when all of these buses come crashing in. Let me once more double check that there are no further stops between Kirjailijanpuisto and Töölötuul. Well, there actually is one, but that's a different thing. It is the turning stop of another line, which we can place in another place. So, here we go. We have Kuusitie, we have Tilkka, and we have Ruskeasuo. And the Ruskeasuo stop has, let me see, has been placed in a way which is pretty much helpful. And then we have the Ruskeasuon Varikko stop, or Brunakärrs depot, which well, there is a stop by that name, by every single one of these roads. So we just put it in here. And then we'll continue this line from here all the way through the crossing. There is another stop after the crossing, but we're not interested in that because we're turning here. Another very difficult crossing to create in this game, but that's life. Life is sometimes tough. Then, after that stop, the following stop is called Talontie, or Hemmansväg. Hemmansvägen, okay. Okay. And it's located in here. This route is also used by quite many buses, and it is quite popular, so we will have to get ready for quite some traffic in here, but we will get to that issue a bit later, because I think what happens here is that well, let's see. And after Hemmansvägen, this... Oh, I will have to create this nightmarish roundabout. And we can actually change to bigger speeds in here, because the speeds start increasing after that roundabout. But the roundabout is actually not a roundabout. It's a massive round road. And I will create this round road now. Because we will need it later on. What is happening? Why does it behave that way? Let's get back. Okay. Let's just get a bit more space in here and create a double track only until this point, and then let's see if I can create it. Yes, it seems I can do it now. So it is a round road going around places in here. It's a one-way roundabout with, I think at most there are 3 or 4 lanes. Oh, they're merging. Yes, they are. I'll just create a sharp turn in there, and then I will, oops, not that one. Now it should work in a proper way. So yes, as you can see, creating that part of the track is pretty much pain in the ass, because this game does not realize that there are intersections like that. But after that we'll move on to the 70 kilometers an hour speed limit, and that's when the fun really does start. There we go. And there we go. Then we'll also need I will just do it manually. There. And then we also need, we will need more of these signals later on. But this is a good start. I think I've managed to create it correctly right now. Because it's not just a combination of bus and tram tracks, it is actually a combination of several bus tracks. I mean, several buses run through this circle of death. And I will have to treat it accordingly. So let's add one more over there. And now I think it should work. So we will now build a fast city road, which is taking us all the way to what is the next stop called? Valimokuja Göterigrenden, right? Yes, that's correct. And it's over by that intersection, isn't that right? Yes, I think that is right. Let me just check this one more time. Yes. Okay, we will have to build it as a double track. And by creating these stops now, I will create I will do quite a service to several future lines, because several future lines run this stretch of track. several future lines also stop at those stops, so creating that many signals doesn't really signal anything. The following stop is called Oh, what's that stop called? What's happening here now? Okay, so there is apparently a bridge somewhere over there. Well, let's make it one. There we go. Done. Now the interesting thing here is, should I build a bridge or should I build an underpass? And the answer will be, as this road is going on a bridge. I don't remember. I've driven it several times. I've taken the train several times. Wait, what? Yep, that's correct. There's a bridge over the troubled water, or not the troubled water, I mean that's the railroad. Could also be called troubled water, but let's just, well, call it a railroad at the moment, because that's what it is, and let's call things by their own names. And yep, we are at the next stop, and after that, the following stop is called Marttila, or Martas, which is after that crossing. That is a real crossing. It's not a bridge. That's done for. So this is going to be a pretty tough line to create, or a pretty long line to create, because of its characteristics, which means being the first and only 30 listed line. What do we have next? Next we have Konala Puisto, Konala Parken, which is a stop over there, and it's actually located pretty much under that bridge. So let's put it under that bridge and let's build the bridge later on, because there are of course buses running above it. Here we go. And there's going to be massive traffic on this road once again, because it's on a highway, and I can already tell you that I will be creating long distance buses in the future. So basically this is once again all doing work for that system to unfold. We still have about 15 to 20 stops left, so it's not over yet. The following stop is called Ruosilan polku Ruusastigen, and where should we place it? Let's have a look. It is pretty much over here. There is a junction. Yes. It's a pretty straightforward stretch of track to create. And those junctions, let me tell you, they will be nasty. I will not like creating them for a second because you need to create a lot of single track on several levels. So, the following stop will be Hankasuontie, and let me see now. Okay, there is. Yep. We will revert back to the city road. No? Yeah, we will. Oops! No. That's okay. Then we will create the fast. No, fuck it. Fast city road past the intersection. There we go. And then. So that's where we exit the highway. And we turn back to city road. So let's just build the intersection to the ordinary city road. There we go. That's connected. That's stopped. And that's it. And then we also need to rename it. There we go. So now we're entering the suburbs, and we're still going to run the line here through Malminkartano all the way to Myyrmäki, up there, close to the budget. So, as this line stops at almost every single possible stop, there's still going to be a lot to create. Then the following stop. Okay, so we're going to enter the suburbs now. Because this is what the bus lines in Helsinki really are about. They are about creating sustainable connections to the suburbs. And here we are very much in a suburb. So we're gonna reach the Malminkartano station by going all the way under the track and doing a big turn and creating many stops in the process, which is probably sensible, I think. Mm-hmm. So the flowing one is called Renginpolku, Drengstigen. Here we go. And this is actually the only bus line doing this loop. So we will just be creating these tracks for this very bus line. And then we have Bostellinpolku, Bostellstigen, which is located somewhere around here. And like I said, this is going to be the reality of these bus lines, moving through endless stops, through endless suburbs. And that's pretty much what this channel is going to be for the next few months. So if you find this fascinating, please follow. If you don't, go to hell, because I'm going to create them all. And I don't care. What do you think about it? There. Then the following stops are at Luutnantinpolku, Leutnantstigen, Lieutenant's path. Okay. So I've already spent a half an hour creating this video. Time well spent. I will give my time estimate at 50 minutes. So around 20 more minutes to go. Wake up. This loop is almost done for. Then we will stop at the station. The stop of the station really is. This is interesting now, but okay. So the stop of the station, I will just push it under the railway track. There. And this stop is actually called Malminkartan Asema, Malmgård Station. And it is the stop of the station, so let's just accept it. There is probably a nice little path from this bus stop to the station. I am not aware of that nice little path, so I'm just wondering why the stop is over there. But let's wonder no. Oops. Let's wonder no more. It is there. We'll accept it. There we go. Because there are stops closer to the station. I mean, the station is in a tunnel. It's a very strange station, to be honest. And then following stop is at Kartanokaari, and now we have around 10 stops left. This is great. This is a strange line. This is a strange line. Okay, and what does the line do then? It crosses the railroad track again. But this time the railroad track is in a tunnel, so because the station is located in a tunnel and it's the only, well, it's not actually the only railway station in Finland located in a tunnel, but it's well, it used to be one. There we go. As you can see, we're making quite a loop, but let's just do that. Let's let it happen. And then we again make a strange turn. There we go. I wasn't expecting this line to be this heavy in terms of construction, but well, it has turned out. I may sometimes be surprised when moving around areas in Helsinki, which I really don't know because I don't spend time in Malminkartano. I don't spend time in this area of the town at all. Then I expect this route to take a left turn, which is probably right. Yep. Again, the road makes pretty strange turns. Let's just not care about them. Let's agree that this is good city planning. Well, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. There's just still so much to do. What's next? It's Neulastie Barrvägen. Okay, so it's over here. So far, I've spent 41 minutes making this video. Let's see if my estimate of 50 minutes is correct, because that would give me around 9 minutes. But there aren't that many more stops left, so I'm pretty positive that I can pretty soon present you with the completed line. Number, was it 37? Can't remember anymore. But there is another stop, and then I think we will turn. Looks like a dead end, so there has been more city created which didn't exist when this map was made, but the following stop is Perhosniitty Fjärilsängen. It's a pretty beautiful name actually. It's Butterfly Field. It's over here. I mean, I literally don't know where this bus line runs to. I have never, ever in my life been in that area of the city, and that is probably my problem, because, well, because I think you should explore your hometown properly before moving on to other areas of the country, and that's something I'm pretty much of a specialist in my life. And after Perhosniitty or Fjärilsängen, it's okay. We're close. We're pretty close. So the following stop is called Honkasuontie Hongasmosvägen. And it's over here. I can actually recall creating this line for the first time. I was kind of stunned by all the turns it took, because this is a really, really intensive line to build. I mean, lots of stops, lots of suburbs, lots of new areas, lots of, well, useless things, to be honest. But I have made a mission, or I have embarked on a mission to create every single local traffic line in this fucking region, and I will do it. I'm a person who always fulfills their missions. So, oh. Now we're into some, let's say, ordinary shit. This is where the traffic is. There are just so many buses running through this area. And now we're close. We are really, 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 really close to the end. The end is near, so to say. But once again, just not there yet. Let's make another stupid turn. There. Go. And let's just create those to wait for the future. The following stop is right behind the corner, and 37,520. Okay. The following stop is at Budasrinne Ågrensbrinken. I can't believe I made this. I skipped a stop over there because it's double stop, and usually stops in Helsinki are always located after crossings. And it means that some buses might need a stop over there, but I'm just not going to care about it. Two more stops left. Thank God. I just ran out of beer, by the way. Which means I'm going to have to take a break from publishing or editing or what the fuck is this called? Recording for a while. And ladies and gentlemen, the final boss. The Myyrmäki railway station. Which is the terminus. Thank God. And it's over here. And it's a single track. Oops, I wasn't meant to do that. I was meant to create the ordinary track all the way until here, and here, and here, and here, and then let's put this shit in a tunnel, because that's where it belongs, and then let's go above the ground, and there. Not that long though. Just get out from the tunnel. And here we go. And there. And there. And there. And there, that's a parking lot. And the Myyrmäki station, which is right out here. Then we will need to do a trick, because the road continues that. Just continue. Okay, good, cool. That way there will be other buses ending up in here, that's for sure. And there will be other buses leaving here, that's also for sure, but this stretch of track is now complete. So another line created, or not exactly, it's another track created, and we will soon move on to creating another line, which is a much funnier part, but nevertheless, line 37, if I can remember correctly what line it was line 37, yes. So the tracks have been created. That was quite a long line, and now we will create the line itself. And did I stay in my 50-minute estimate? I didn't. This video is going to be around 55 minutes, and so fuck, screwing things up. This is what happens when you drink beer and create lines, but that's just a part of life. Pretty much acceptable, I think, because this game is not that serious. I mean, like I've said so many times previously, it's a way of spending time for me. Drinking beer, building tracks, creating lines, and let's see when I will have conquered the entire world. I don't think that will happen anytime shortly, because there are hundreds of lines in Helsinki alone, let alone massive cities in, for example, Central Europe. But maybe I will just have to make this no, it doesn't stop there because it came through Töle, and that means it's in here. But now I'll have to check the it didn't stop at Kirjailijan puisto. No, it did stop at Linnankosken katu. Yes, it didn't stop at Töölön kirjasto. No, it stopped at Töölön tori. So that's the stop. It stops at Apollon katu, not at Sammon katu. Does it stop at Hanken? Yes, it does. And then we are in the Kamppi terminal where this video started from, and then we will just push it all the way back. This was a long line. This was a really, really long line, but in the end, I will thank myself because this line did do a lot of work for other lines, which will be needed later on. And at some point, the work just has to be done. That's what building infrastructure is all about. You just have to do the work at some point. And also, I have now managed to connect one suburb completely to the network, because this is what Myyrmäki is about. It's about, no, not Myyrmäki, Malminkartano. This is what it is about, and this same thing will happen with other suburbs. So there will be lots and lots and lots and lots of track and boss lines to be covered. But there we are. We are successful, and the line will operate every, what was that? Around every 20 minutes, which is a good interval for lines. So let's try to make it around 20 minutes, shall we? This is going to need a lot of buses. Let's buy a lot of buses. Let's buy as many buses as we need. 48 minutes, we will still need to buy many of them. 32 minutes, we will still need to buy many of them. 24 minutes, I think 2 more will be sufficient. No, that's enough. That's enough. Line 37 of the Helsinki City Transport, or Helsinki Region City Transport, is operational. That was the only line running the 30s. Now we will move on to lines running the 40s, but that is not the topic of today. That will be the topic of another video, which means I'm going to tell you just bye.